This is a blueprint, and this is the team it comes from. The beauty of a blueprint is you can take it from any game, season, or era you desire. Remember when Chelsea upset Bayern in the 2012 Champions League final? Boom, blueprint. Or that incredible Northampton Town team of 92. Boom, blueprint. Where there's a story, there's a blueprint. And today, we're going to be using the blueprint of Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. So what we have to do first with any blueprint rebuild is look at the team and sort out the formation and tactics to make sure we have the right play style of what the Barcelona team had under Pep Guardiola, but also identify players that could fit certain blueprints already to make sure we're as good to go as possible from the moment we kick off this save. So what we've done is implemented the 4-3-3 that Pep used at Barcelona and tried to make the positions really work based on how they played when Pep was in charge. So as you can see, where Messi was the number 9 in theory, he was actually a false 9, so we'll make sure he drops in. Much more of a winger on the left when we had Thierry Henry or David Villa, but the other player, whether it be Pedro or Alexis Sanchez, was much more of a playmaker for the team, and then everything else is just to make sure the team is well balanced to how they played in the past. So Dani Alves, Abidal, Busquets, they'll all play the same way, whichever player we bring in. Next thing we have to do is look at the entire blueprint. Now, it's very Spanish based, so I have made some tough decisions like making Sanchez and Henry the starting wingers over Villa and Pedro. Personally, I probably would have swapped those over as the most iconic wingers of the Pep era, but I don't want it to just be a complete Spanish team, so I have tried to just spice it up a little bit, so bear with me there. But without any further ado, let's jump straight into this first transfer window. We've done the first 2 blueprint pillars, which are the nations and the team style. Now we can move on to storylines and play style of the players that we pick up. So let's push forward. Let's see who we can pick up in our first season and who can really replicate those legends of the past. So the first thing we need to do is get our outgoing sorted. So Rodriguez has been released and Cuenca has left for 1 million to Monaco. Martin has left for 5.1 million and Torres has left for 39 million. He goes to Wolves this summer. Robert Lewandowski's gone to Arsenal in a 40 million pound deal, and Araujo goes to Newcastle. That's a 67.5 million pound deal. And then finally, Frankie de Jong goes to Aston Villa for 71 million, and Rafinha has also left in a 95 million pound deal, and he'll go to Italy with Juventus this window. So from there, we picked up 5 new signings. Firstly, we brought in the son of one of the players on the blueprint. We've brought in Eto'o to come in for 1 million from Rayo Vallecano. There were probably better options to really replicate Samuel Eto'o, but we just can't not have the option of having his son in the team. So he's going to come in as one of our strikers. We've brought in a Sardi for 2 million. He's going to fit the Alexis Sanchez blueprint. We needed someone we could really try and grow over time, so hopefully we can get this guy to the level. Diamande has come in for 10 million from Rangers. It's a really nice blueprint fit for Yaya Toure. And then we've brought in a number 10, probably could play on the wing, not really a striker, but we will try and turn him into one. Mastantuono comes in for 15 million pounds from River Plate. I think this guy is the next big talent coming out of Argentina, so it felt right to use him as the Messi blueprint. And finally, to fit the Abidal blueprint, we've brought in a centre-back called Lukeba, 42 million pounds from Leipzig, and he will come in and slot into left back. We're going to turn him into a left back. Abidal was much more of a defensive player, so I think this guy fits the bill very well. And so going into season 1, this is the team. There's some young players we had to get in early and start working on, like Mastantuono and Asadi. It's nothing special right now. There's some star players we'll still need to get rid of, a lot of work still to do on the overall squad, but for now it's a great stepping stone to really go towards greatness. So let's see what we can do in the Liga, let's see what we can do in the Champions League, but I don't have high hopes really for this season. Now in the Ballon d'Or rankings for 2024, Haaland comes out on top. He becomes the best player in the world. Hopefully we'll see some interesting ones and maybe even some Barcelona players in this throughout this save. Now just over the halfway stage, we're absolutely smashing it. We're currently top of the table despite the fact we've got a lot less talent in the team. We're beating Real Madrid, we're beating Atletico Madrid, we're right up there. What a start to the season this has been. This is unbelievable right now. And somehow we've also shown up in the Champions League as well. We finished 4th overall, which automatically puts us into the round of 16. This is an unbelievable situation. We've done so well so far. Can we keep this up with this really young team? And I mean, when you look at the league top scorers, you can see why we're doing well. Lamine Yamal is keeping us up there. He is carrying us right now with 13 goals, just 3 off Vinny, who's currently top of the leaderboard. Still a great year. I'm going to be really sad to let this guy go. I'm trying to keep him really as long as we can before finally replacing him with the Henry. But he's doing so well, and it's going to make it even harder to get rid of him at the time that we do. Now, in the January window, we got rid of a few more players. So Ter Stegen has left to Man City for 56 million. We've brought in a killer replacement, but still, we had to let him go. He's an absolute star for us. And we've also sent Eric Garcia leave for Villarreal, a £17 million deal. We're just really trying to get that blueprint moved along a little bit more. So sadly, these guys had to step out the door. And then moving on to the players coming in. So David Raya's coming for 56 million from Arsenal to replicate Valdez. A really solid goalkeeper. Valdez was at the time that Pep came in. He will come in at 6 foot, which is the same as Valdez, so a similar stature. So I really like this deal. And then we've brought in someone that's a perfect replication in my eyes. Ezequiel Fernandez has come in for £8 million. The Argentinian is a holding midfielder. He's 5'10". We're going to convert him to a centre-back, though, and make him play just like Javier Mascherano. And the final piece of business that will come into play at the end of the season, both Wojciech Szczesny and Inigo Martinez leave on a free transfer. Their contracts are running out. They've agreed to move to new clubs, so we'll say goodbye to them at the end of the season. But let's jump forward to the end of the season, where we do just miss out on the league. Real Madrid bring it home by 1 point. We really slipped up there to not bring this one home in the end, but there's more seasons to go. It wouldn't have counted to the league and Champions League. We need to complete the blueprint because the blueprint isn't finished, but regardless of that, still impressive, great season. Hopefully we can build on this with our young talents. And when you look at how the team performed, if you do take away Lamine Yamal, we have struggled a bit for goals. This guy has carried hard. We have brought in a few players like Asadi, who's got 5 and 5. Bastantuono went 16 and 8, which isn't too bad for a first season. But if we want to be an elite level club, these guys are going to have to really step it up. Big season ahead next year, but still decent for this year round. And then when you look at the top scorers in the league, Lamine Yamal has smashed it with 24. He doesn't come away with the top scorer award. That goes to Vinny, but still a great season for our young talent. He also showed up as a top assist getter, equaling Vinny and Lacazette. That's an incredible year. Pedri also popping up in the top 5 in this one. And then Courtois brings home the Golden Glove. We didn't have a player in here considering we swapped them in January, which is fair enough, but hopefully we can pick up rare some clean sheets so we can start to challenge for this incredible award. But the final thing to do is just look at all of the other trophies. Now, we actually won the Super Copa, beating Real Madrid 3-2 in the final on this one. Real Madrid brought home Copa de España after beating Villarreal 3-1 in the final. The Champions League went to Real Madrid as well, as they beat City 2-0. That's an incredible result for another Spanish team. Frankfurt beat Porto 2-0 to win the Europa League this year. And Chelsea beat Betis in an actual replication of the exact final this season. 1-0 though this time round. Chelsea still come out as champions in that one. But that is it for our first season. We've done pretty well so far. Done pretty well to stay up there with Real Madrid considering the outgoings we've had. But there's going to be even more next season as we really chop into this team. Let's jump into season 2 and really hope we can make a splash despite all the loss we're going to have. So going into season 2, we had a mega clear out once again. So firstly, we've got rid of Romeu and Longley. Romeu was released and Longley's gone to Villarreal for 10 million. Valle has left for Hoffenheim, an 11 million pound deal. And Fatty's gone to Germany as well with Leipzig for 15 million. Balde has left for 58 million to our rivals Real Madrid, and Casado's gone to West Ham in a 60 million pound offer. And then finally, Olmo has left for PSG in an incredible 78 million pound deal, including our outgoings this season, and seriously weakening our team. But we have done some work to get some real good strength back in the team. So Lisandro Martinez comes in from Real Madrid for 37 million. Diego Lopez has come in for 35 million from Valencia, which copies the path of the player he's trying to replicate in David Villa. He can play striker, but we're going to operate him out on the left. 35 million pounds for the Spaniard. Nico Iñigo Gonzalez comes in for 34 million. The La Masia graduate comes in from Man City to finally take up his role as Busquets, basically what he was brought through to do. And then finally, two more players. Francis from Girona for 12 million. A bit of a smaller centre-back, so suits the Puyol blueprint. And Wellington comes in to offer our Maxwell blueprint here from Southampton. £8 million for the Brazilian. And that concludes our business for the summer. And so that means at the start of season 2, with the transfer window closed, the team looks like this. It's a lot stronger now. We've got a lot of players moving into their positions the way we want them, but we still have some superstars we have to get rid of, like Koundé and Yamal, and a lot of bench work to do. So let's jump into this season and see what we can do, and hopefully we can progress to the blueprint in January at the same time. Now, as we push forward with this season, Vinicius actually picked up the Ballon d'Or here in 2025. The Brazilian finally wins his first Ballon d'Or. We don't want him to get too many of these. We want some of our players to really be there and take over world football. But for now, we're not there. And as I said, Vinny Jr., the best player in the world. Now we're here at about the halfway stage, just over to be fair. 41 points from our first 21 games. We're a little bit off the pack. One game in hand for Real Madrid and they're 5 points clear. So we're seeing that continuous drop off with the drop off of quality with the players we're losing. But it's still okay. If we're in this place, we don't have to build too far once we've got that squad assembled to really go for it and be ready for La Ligas and Champions Leagues. And talking of Champions Leagues, we've absolutely smashed it. In the group stages, we've only lost one game, finished top of the group, and we've absolutely killed everyone. 21 points from 8 games. Brilliant to come out on first. Can we keep this up as we move into the knockouts? Now, our standout player at the moment is still Lamine Yamal. 12 goals off the left. He is struggling a bit to keep up with, say, Kylian Mbappe, but an impressive league season already. I am going to really miss him when we go. We're going to have to replace him very well once we bring in that Henry replacement. So we have done some business in and out this window as well. So Bernal has left for 2.5 million to Leganes. Porter's left for 2.5 million as well, but going to Getafe. Christiansen has left for 34 million and he'll go to Inter. And then we've brought in some new additions. So Garcia comes in for 15 million from Aston Villa. He'll fit the Montoya blueprint. And then we've finally brought in our Cesc Fabregas replacement. Jordi Gazar comes in for 26 million from Athletic Bilbao. And we're going to train him into a fantastic ball player and really make him the perfect Fabregas replacement. And with the team sorted, here we are at the end of the season again, and we lose out on a point again. A really tough situation, but we've done well once again to keep up with Real Madrid as we grow our team. We'll keep going next season. I'm excited to see what we can do next season, but we are going to lose the star players, so we need to make sure we recruit well and bring in some players that can really hit the ground running. And so when you look at how the squad performed, it done really well. Mastantuono was fantastic up front. The three midfielders in Xavi, Pedri, Gonzalez all contributed massively. Kabasi done well from centre-back. Asadi's done pretty well. I'd like to see him grow a bit more. I think he'll be a really good Alexis Sanchez blueprint rebuild by the end of next season. But for now, just get a few more goals, get a few more clean sheets. We'll work on that together. But it's really good. The squad's coming together. They look really strong. Let's see what we have in store next year once we lose Yamal. And then when you go over to the top scorers list, Yamal was there again, 21 goals. He's going to be a massive loss next season. Kylian Mbappe wins the Golden Boot though, 38 goals for the Frenchman this year. The top assist award went to Fruc, who picked up 13 assists for Athletic Bilbao this season. And as we said last year, we wanted David Raya to be challenging for the Golden Glove, and he's done it. He's won with 10 clean sheets this season, a great replication of Victor Valdez. So what a signing. I'm glad he's doing so well. But the final thing to do is look at all the trophies. So Real Madrid won Super Copa on penalties this year, beating Villarreal. The Copa de España went to Celta Vigo in a 2-1 win over Sevilla in the final. The Champions League went to Italy with Juventus as they beat PSG 2-0. Chelsea have now gone on to win the Europa League this season, beating Napoli 3-1. That's an incredible output. And Aston Villa beat Anderlecht 4-2 in the final to bring home European glory in the Conference League. That will mark the end of another season, another incredible year. Now we can go off to try and complete the blueprint and really go for these massive titles. And so moving into another season, we got some serious work done. We firstly released Dominguez and Victor. Both will now be on the free agent market. We have got rid of Jules Koundé. It's a £100 million deal as he moves to Newcastle. We've also sold Lamine Yamal finally. He has gone to Chelsea and it costs them £300 million, meaning he would become the most expensive player of all time. And then we can move on. That means everyone is out that we need to be out, and we can now replace them to complete the blueprint. So Juarez has come in for 18 million from Mirandes. He will fit the Rafa Marquez blueprint. We've brought in an attacking right back from Brazil in Eto'o. It's a £40 million deal from Manchester City for him. We then needed a tall but agile and talented striker from Sweden. So we've of course gone for Alexander Isak for £100 million. He comes in from Newcastle here. And then we needed a striker that could really operate and be moved to the left wing. It had to be from France to replicate Thierry Henry. So we've picked up the pace demon Kylian Mbappe in a £230 million deal. He comes in from our rivals Real Madrid. And that means the blueprint is now complete. We can now move on with a save and try to win La Liga and Champions League to finish this off. And so going into season 3, this is the team. Some unbelievable players with Xavi, Pedri and Mbappe all over 90 rated. Kabasi is in there as well. Ray is doing unbelievably. We've got some young players we need to grow now. So let's see what we can do this season. Hopefully we can now go for La Liga and really put the pressure on Real Madrid. And going into season 3, the Ballon d'Or winner actually ended up being Kylian Mbappe. Now he's only been here for a couple of months, so I can't really take credit for this one. He smashed it for Madrid last season, but we now hold the best player in the world. So let's use that to our advantage and go and smash it this season. Now at the halfway stage, we're 4 points back from Villarreal, who are now the front runners. We do have a game in hand, so we're right in there, right in contention. We beat Real Madrid, we take the lead on them, and up comes another contender. This is not going to be easy, but we're going to give it everything in the second half of the season to try and win Liga. And then when we move over to the Champions League, we've had another fantastic group stage campaign. We finished third, just behind PSG and Arsenal. Really, really good work to go unbeaten in the group stages. We now move into the round of 16 to see if we can do anything in the second half of the season. And when you then look at the league table for the top scorers, Kylian Mbappe currently tops it with 17. He is smashing it this season. Paying all that money for him seems to be worth it. He has an even better output than Yamal had for us at this stage. But at this point, there's no other changes to the squad. We continue to grow. We're going to see what we can do with this group of players. Hopefully turn them into absolute star-studded talents by the end of the season. And we can now really go for it. Let's jump into the second half of the season and see what we can do. And when we do jump to the end of the season, it's so upsetting to see that we've fallen short again, but this time it's to Atletico Madrid. No matter how good we get, someone always seems to pip us to that title, and it means it's going to take at least another season to finish the save. So frustrating. We just can't get it over the line. Can we finally get rid of this absolute painful feeling next season? Because we sure have a good enough team to do it. And when you look at this squad, players have really started to step up. I mean, Pedri, a great year from midfield. Asadi has finally started to step up. Gavi's had a really good year. And then Mastantuono and Mbappe have smashed it as well. We have an incredible squad here. We are on the verge of success and greatness. We just need to get it finally done and win the Champions League and Liga. Let's see what we can do next season. It's such a shame that we've just fallen short. And when you have a look at how our players played compared to the top talent in the league, I mean, Mbappe had smashed it. coming away with the golden boot this season with 26 goals. Franco Mastantuono has equaled the top assist leader in Wisa. They come away with a top assist award each with 12 assists. Also great to see Mbappe on there with 8 at the same time. And when it comes to the Golden Glove, there's no sight of David Raya. He was injured for large parts of the season, but the Golden Glove award does go to Di Gregorio for Athletic Bilbao, picking up 11 clean sheets this season. And then the final thing for us to do is look at the other competitions. So Real Madrid actually beat us in the Supercopa final 3-2 to take away that trophy. Mallorca went all the way, beating Sporting 4-0 to win the Copa de España this season. The Champions League went to Arsenal, winning their first European trophy after a 3-3 draw. They took it all the way in the end using penalties. Tottenham brought other pieces of European silverware back to the North London area. Fenerbahce got absolutely smashed 4-1 in this final. And Newcastle complete an English triple as they bring the Conference League back to Tyneside. What a season for English football. The Conference League goes back to the Geordies, and that marks the end of another season. It is really painful to see that we're so close to smashing it, but we're just not quite there. Hopefully season 4 is going to be a bit more fruitful and we can really take that step forward. So at this point, I'm very happy with the team. So season 4, there's no changes. This is the squad. Can we finally go and win something? We've come so close so many times, but now we need to finally get over the line. So we jump forward with our season and we start with the Ballon d'Or. So the 2027 Ballon d'Or goes to Bukayo Saka. Mbappe hasn't smashed it the way he did at Real Madrid. He's still been incredible, but just not the best in the world. And this guy has pipped him to it. So hopefully we can get Mbappe back to the top. But for now, nice to see someone a little bit different becoming the best player in football. Now the squad is doing exactly what we need them to. We're currently top of the league. We're beating Madrid, both Atletico and Real. And it is all on the line. But we've been here before and we haven't got it done. We need to keep this going and win La Liga. Finally, we need to get this trophy in the bag. And right now, I'm not confident we can get that done. And we've done pretty well in the Champions League as well so far. We're 5th, as I say all the time. As long as we get through to the round of 16, don't have to go through the playoffs, it's a major success. So I'm very happy with this. Right up there with some of the best in Europe. Now can we do it in the knockouts? Finally get this job done and go and win the Champions League. And then when you look at the team and how they're performing against the best in the league, Vinny Jr. is currently the top scorer, but Kylian Mbappe is just one back from him. He's having a great season. Great to see Mastantuono also contributing massively with 15 goals. Our star players are smashing it. Can they keep this up in the second half of the season so we can really go for this title and finally win La Liga? And we have gone and won La Liga in the end. It's taken 4 seasons. 3 seasons of getting so close but not quite getting over the line. But this time we do. We finally break that curse as Barcelona, bring home a Spanish league title. And now we have just one thing on the agenda, and that is trying to win the Champions League. Can we go and do that this season? Let's see how we've got on. And we have made the final in the Champions League. We have Bayer Leverkusen, who we have to take down. To get there, we've taken down Borussia Dortmund 7-3 in the semi-finals. We've also beat Atletico Madrid 4-2 in this one. Absolutely smashed it. And then on top of that, we've also taken down Marseille in a 6-5 thriller across 2 legs. We've absolutely killed it. And now we have an exciting Champions League final to go and try and smash to complete the save. And when you look at how our players perform, no one picked the golden boot up for Barcelona this year. But 2 players, our Messi regen and our Henry regen, both smashing 28 goals, just one behind Vinny on 29. We have an incredibly efficient output, and now we can go and really push for it. What a season. No wonder we went and won the league. These guys have destroyed it. We've also had some incredible output from our midfielders. So Xavi, who's our Iniesta regen, got 12 assists, pulling home the top assist award, matching it with Vinny. And then also our Sanchez and Henry players have both picked up 9 and 8 assists respectively. These guys have smashed it. We are absolutely incredible in the attacking third. And when it comes to the Golden Glove, Petrovic comes home with it with 12 clean sheets for Real Sociedad. Raya not too far away with 10 this season. But in all honesty, it's just good to have him back playing an entire season. His season was seriously hit with injuries last year, so it was great to see him performing at such a high level again. But the final thing before we go forward with the final, here it is, the team and how they performed in all competitions. And Mbappe picks up an incredible 51 contributions. Mastantuonu's up there with 47. Gavi smashing it with 36. Asadi's had an absolute standout year again. These guys are incredible. We've really built an unbelievable team. And now it's all about taking them into this Champions League final to see if we can take down Leverkusen and finish this blueprint rebuild. And here it is, the Champions League final, Leverkusen versus Barcelona. Can we get this done and bring home European glory? Pedri, beautiful play. Mastantuono finds Kylian Mbappe. He's trying to take it all the way. No serious option, so he has to go alone. He kills it just wide. Dealt with, but stolen back anyway. Finds it to Wirtz, finds John Duran, who hits the post. Finds the extra space. Florian Wirtz. Oh my God, is it just going to fall to them? Finds the extra space. He somehow put it wide. Oh my God. Here's Duran. Finds Chavez. Of course he's going to slot that home. We've given them far too many chances. And we just can't handle how many players they have on these attacks. Brilliant play. Draws the defence out. Here's Mastantuono. Tries to take it through. Tries to have them dance around him. Mastantuono! Oh my God, you've got to put that home. Gone long, but only as far as Gavi here. Here's Asadi. Finds the space. Into Gavi here. Looks for the lovely 1-2 play. That's unbelievable. What a save. And the second saved again. Wow. Finds the space. Mastantuono's free. This is what you don't want. Don't give him the space. Mastantuono's got to finally make him pay, and we do. It's 1-1. Equaliser late into the second half. Still time to go for a winner, though. That is what we're talking about. Finally, we've broken our own deadlock. Oh my God. Freeing up the space. Duran hits it just over the top. Eto'o. Mastantuono. Finds Isak. Pops it forward. 1-2s maybe. Brilliant work with Iniesta here. Gavi finds him. Mastantuono. The Messi regen. Finds Henry. He makes them pay in the last second, and Kylian Mbappe scores to surely win the Champions League. It wasn't pretty. Good work between the winger and Gavi. The finish is saved well, but he follows up nicely. And Mbappe surely scores the winner to finally crown Barcelona as the champions of Europe. What a moment. Finally. Trying to stop them here. Abadal gets across nicely. That should be enough if he clears it out. And Barcelona are champions of Europe. What a game. What a turnaround. Unbelievable to see us do so well in this final. And that is a blueprint completed. We've now completed 4, so let me know what one you want next. It is so enjoyable to do these, and this one has been seriously fun. And up steps Frances, our Puyol regen, the small centre-back. He is lifting that beautiful Champions League. What a moment. Champions of Europe, this save is completed. If you've enjoyed, please do leave a like, and more importantly, subscribe. We are so close to pushing towards 1,000 subscribers, and it would help massively if you help us on that journey. Thank you to our channel member, Jezzabeats318. He's an absolute legend. Anyone that wants to become a member, just look at the join button down below. But that is it for this save. I am so glad that we've finally completed this Barcelona one. There's going to be a video in the middle of the screen at the end here if you want to watch anything else. But I'm going to leave this here. Until next time, guys, I will see you in the next one. Have a lovely rest of the day. And peace out.